What is right to remember? What is iFixit? These questions have been asked a lot, and I'm here to explain some things. Without further ado, let's get into it. Corporations have been realizing that their products, everything from phones to light bulbs, were getting so good people weren't buying as many as they used to, as they already had them and they didn't break. This is called market saturation. The manufacturers of these products made them fail sooner than they would otherwise, and that's called planned obsolescence. For example, if you buy an iPhone, it will become really slow or the battery will fail in around 4 years or so. Now, when it fails, you have two options. One, to repair it, or two, to buy a new one. But the thing is, Apple, it's just not just Apple, I'm using them as an example here, doesn't want you to repair their device, and because they would make less money than if you bought a new phone. So Apple makes it really expensive for people to get their devices repaired, up to the point where you're paying about as much or even more for a repair than for a new device that is better. So people start throwing away the devices sooner, and it creates toxic e-waste, which is bad for the environment and the consumers' wallets. The rich, however, get richer. But people aren't oblivious to this, at least some people. Two people in college tried repairing an old iBook back in 2003. They had trouble as there was no documentation, but they successfully repaired it. They tried repairing other laptops. They ran into trouble when they tried to replace the components because they couldn't buy them from anyone. So they went to eBay and bought a broken version of the same laptop. They took the parts that were still working from the broken laptop and put it in the laptop that they were repairing. Okay, so they had a genius idea. Sell the parts themselves so people like them don't have to scavenge for parts on eBay to repair broken devices. They start selling the parts under the name iFixit. But people still don't know how to repair devices themselves, so the college kids starts making their own guides to help consumers repair their own devices, even if they have no technological background. Today, iFixit is much bigger than its humble beginnings and provides parts and guides for pretty much everything that you can think of. Meanwhile, in 2013, the Digital Right to Repair Coalition, or Repair.org, was founded. It's a lobby group intended to push legislation that requires companies to give consumers the right to repair. It's not the first effort to fight for right to repair as we saw with iFixit, but it is one of the most substantial. In 2019, 20 states had right to repair bills in active legislation, including California, New York, and Massachusetts, and over 350 businesses have joined force with Repair.org, including iFixit. Now, I've talked about the big players in the right to repair fight, but what about the everyday citizens who make a difference that many people might not consider? I'll dive into those small businesses in a part 2, where we'll talk about Louis Rossman, a small repair shop owner who is a big supporter of right to repair, and Ethan Zua, the founder of the IT Club, a national student club I happen to be a member of.